congratulations on your restaurant. Is it Repast or Repast?
You know, our official position on that is we don't care how you say it as long as you show up for dinner.
That is a very good point. Now, you have something very unique and very special about your restaurant, and that is your whole farm-to-table theory, which you, again, quote-unquote, champion to local farmers. Tell us about that.
Well, I mean, Donna, I won't, you know, I can't say I'm a champion of it. It's just something I believe very passionately about. I mean, to be a chef and to be trained and to do this for your life and open your own restaurant, obviously working with local ingredients that are farmed sustainably is very important. And it gives the food a certain vibration, if you will, of purity. And my job is a lot easier when I buy something that's beautifully you know, cared for and raised properly, whether it's, you know, animals that are humanely treated or vegetables that are, you know, farmed without pesticides or in a sustainable fashion. My life's easier. You know, I just got to let that shine. So it's a movement now, farm to table. You know, and I buy as much as I can. Although, you know, I wouldn't say I'm a farm to table person. Like, you know, I'm not like the guy always going with farm to table because it's almost become now a parody of itself. I found, you know, it's a thing. But I've always been doing it, and I always will do it. And I think if you care about what you do, you're gonna, you know, buy things from people who care about what they do, whether it's somebody who makes wine or somebody who raises cattle or pork.
I think that's a really good point, and what I want to back up for a second, because I know, and you know, and lots of industry people know what the term farm to table means, and it is a trend right now. And I'm going to ask you, so sit on this question: is it just a trend, or is this something here to stay? But before we get to that question, please explain to those of us who may not know, but keep hearing this whole term, farm to table, local ingredients. What exactly is that for the person who may be confused?
Well, it's quite simple. It's the way things, in my view, should be. You own a restaurant, you're a chef, you cook food, you need some vegetables. So if it's July, for example, you know, you really want to kind of look and see what's around and in season, and use that. Use the season as the inspiration, as opposed to, you know, serving tomatoes in January.
Okay.
You can get them, sure, they're available, but, you know, they're coming from, you know, maybe Chile or California, most certainly. So if you look at you can get a tomato in January, but look how it has to come to you, and what the cost of that is from an environmental perspective. So
and the time
and the, you know, carbon emissions and the, you know, just the whole system of getting that tomato from California or South America or wherever it is to you
on your plate.
On your plate, to me, eat something else. You know, in January, don't eat tomatoes in January because, you know, they taste better in July and August.
So farm to table is literally using local farmers, or shoot, maybe even your own garden. Some restaurants are now doing gardens in their backyard or on their rooftops or whatever, and you literally take it off the stem from your own garden or from the local farm, and you bring it, boom, right to your restaurant there in the moment.
Yeah, it's that. That's
it's
certainly
fresh.
That's certainly one aspect. Another aspect is that you develop relationships with people who produce these things, and you know, it's a passion for them, and it's a way of life, and it's something that they've committed to. That's better for all of us, the environment, and, you know, it becomes part of what you do. So it's not like you have to order. It's not like, hey, I need some tomatoes. No, I'm going to call Will, and, you know, if I think tomatoes, I'm thinking of a name. If I'm thinking pork, I'm thinking of a name that I know somebody raises pork.
Nice.
It's just like one of my things I love to do with my wine program. I want to have a wine list that I know personally, all the winemakers that I've met or known these. So that's, you know, that's Bill's wine. That's, you know, that's Laurent's wine. It's not going to be so much like, oh, that's Chateau Blow and Blow or whatever it is.
Blow and Blow.
Well, yeah, we won't go there, but you know what I'm saying.
So you're adding a very personal touch in so many different ways. Now, before we move on, because there's a couple really fun things that I want to talk to you about, but do you think this whole farm-to-table, local ingredients, using local farmers and farms, do you think this is a trend? Or do you think that this is something here to stay? Or is it just the new foodie culinary, you know, popular thing at the moment? What do you think?
Well, I think it's always been with us. It's become more. There's more of an awareness of and a responsibility people are taking to continue and to do this. I do think, like in anything, there's going to be people who are doing it because they know it's fashionable and it's kind of a trendy thing. But, you know, their motivation is not sustainable, if you will. It's more of a selfishly motivated. But there's definitely a huge movement and a level of awareness in the country, whether it's and internationally, actually, with Slow Food International, Georgia Organics locally is a wonderful organization that these things are here, and we realize that, and I don't think it's a trend. I think it's going to continue to go in that direction.
I hope so, because it just makes so much sense. I mean, it really does.
I mean, hey, there's logistical challenges built in with working local, and it's going to be easier for some businesses and restaurants to do that than others. But as long as there's dialogue and there's conversation about, it's traceability is really what it's about. People want to know where it's coming from, who's making it, and why are they making this. And it's about tracing it back to the source and understanding what happens to whatever it is you're eating along the way. What happened from where it was sourced and grown to how does it wind up on the plate. Hence,
and it's important.
Farm to table.
And hence farm to table. And your restaurant is one that practices farm to table. So you need to go check out Repast. Let's talk about a couple other things. Slow food movement. I was going to talk about that, but before we do, you recently went to Louisiana, which is your hometown, with John Kessler, by the way, who we've been trying to get on our show.
I'll have to talk to John for you.
Please
I'll see if I can coax him into coming.
John Kessler, we want you on the show. I'm just throwing that out there. Now, the two of you went together, and you went to was it your hometown?
My hometown, yes. It was like a multifaceted trip, and John is a friend and a neighbor, and I needed some help moving furniture out of my mother's house.
I read that, but you really went there to go meet Alice Waters.
Yeah, Alice was there. She was invited by school children. There's a charter school about 5 miles from where I grew up, and it's the #1 charter school in the state. And they participate in one of Alice's initiatives called Edible Schoolyard.
Edible Schoolyard. Okay, so, pay attention to this, guys. It's fascinating.
Oh, I mean, it's basically along the same lines of children. We're losing our connection with the earth and how things, fast-paced lifestyle. Children need to know that carrots, don't come from Kroger. That they do, but they don't really. They're not originated from Kroger. That there's actually a ground in caring for vegetables and things. So, Alice, meeting her there was really so important to me, and has a lot of implications in my life. So it brought a lot of things together, meeting her there, and if you read the piece, there was other.
Well, let me stop you for one quick second. I don't mean to interrupt you, but people are probably going, who is Alice Waters? Alice Waters has been nicknamed the mother of the entire organic food movement. Okay, the entire organic food movement. She started it out in San Francisco, and it started to really flourish throughout California. Yeah, throughout California, and then the movement has just gone across country, and now organic everything and farm to table and stuff like that, and it is basically can all be traced back to Alice Waters. So that's who we're talking about.
Yes, and I would encourage you all who are listening, if you want some more information, there's a wonderful documentary called Food Inc. INC. That I recommend. I made every one of my staff watch it.
We're getting the signal that we have to cut to a quick commercial break, and I have so many other things I want to talk to you about, Joe, and I'm not going to be able to do it. Dadgummit. So what I'm going to do instead is when I come back. Well, A, you need to come back, and B, what we didn't cover here in a second. For example, here we go, Flavors of Atlanta. That is getting ready to come up, and you are part of that. I will be talking about that a little bit later on the show, so you can still get plugged for that. Is there anything else that you want to say before we have to scoot about Repast, about Harmony and Fusion?
Harmony and Fusion is an online cookbook that we're coming out with soon, and my wife is Japanese. She's the other part of this. She's a chef.
And you own the restaurant together.
We own the restaurant together. We're husband and wife, and we have 2 small children. So, but my wife's Japanese background and my kind of French European background. We hate the word fusion because fusion often equals confusion. So we believe that we can make harmony in that without making confusion. So our cookbook's going to be coming out shortly online.
Nice. Well, I'll have to make sure you let me know because I'll definitely tell people and
Okay.
remind them. But it is going to be an online interactive cookbook.
Yes.
Amazing. It's so fascinating. Again, called Harmony Infusion. We've been talking to Joe Truex of Repast, which is down at the corner of Glen Iris Drive and North Avenue.
Correct.
Downtown. And what did you say it's near?
Midtown. Well, it's right down the street from the Cactus Car Wash. Everybody knows
The
that.
Cactus Car Wash on Ponce, right around the corner. Joe, I will definitely continue talking about you, but unfortunately I have to let you go. Guys, do not go anywhere. As soon as we come back, we have our sponsors, We Sell Restaurants, to give us some inside scoop and to answer your questions. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back